Can I just add, or say rather, that the amount of gel that I have in my hair right now is comparable to that when a whale sneezes. I don't think this is gonna move for like 3 weeks. When you shopped around for cars in the past, you're looking at something with a two-box design, some ground clearance, you'd think to yourself, hey, that's a good-looking SUV. But the truth is, not all cars that look like that are actually what they are. Some, yes, are SUVs, but the others are, well, relatively new car design called crossovers. Not to be confused with those moves on a basketball court.
Allen shakes free, gets two! Mike says, oh!
Sweet. So anyway, crossovers. By the name alone, they are the midway point between sedans and SUVs. A sort of like the best of both worlds. Well, they're trying at the very least. See, you get the tame ride of a sedan, but with the ground clearance of an SUV. So really, what's the difference? How can you tell them apart? Well, that answer is underneath.
Man, I don't see jack shit.
First, an SUV, which is built on a truck's chassis. Now, there are many names, like ladder frame, body-on-frame, pickup platform utility vehicle, but all of them point to a particular way of building cars, and that's with multiple pieces of steel assembled together. Now, in general, SUVs are typically heavier than a crossover of similar size, but a trade-off is that they are sturdier and have a longer track record of durability and rugged performance. But who's to say SUVs can't have a smooth ride? To you, I say, not all SUVs have that tug-tug feeling. Yes, there are some bad apples, but they do not ruin the entire bunch. Believe me, when I say that the Nissan Patrol is something else, man, with Nissan's hydraulic body motion control, dude, it's like gliding on a magic carpet, a V8 magic carpet no less, that can play in the mud. Now, other examples of SUVs are the Toyota Fortuner, the Ford Expedition, and even the cute little Suzuki Jimny. Now, in comparison, crossovers are, like I said, relatively younger. They arrived in the mid-90s, and unlike baggy overalls, they're here to stay. And they're a heck of a lot better looking too. They do still share the same two-box design that SUVs have, but underneath, they have a very different architecture. Instead of multiple pieces, the actual chassis or bones of a crossover is a single piece. Now, in the industry, this type of construction is called a unibody, which typically gets you a car that is lighter, resulting in better fuel economy and rigid at the same time. So the question is, can you go off-road in a crossover? Well, the answer is no and yes. That was a pointless answer. Look, you wouldn't necessarily bring a knife to a gunfight, would you?
Isn't that just like a wop? Brings a knife to a gunfight.
Look, what I mean to say is that you can bring a crossover off-road, but there is a limit. When it does start to get a little bit hairy, then yeah, you are gonna want to opt for the SUV. But if you're on a racetrack or on a mountain road, I'd choose the crossover because of its unibody design and its handling features. It handles more like a sedan or car than it does an SUV. Now, SUVs have a higher center of gravity, which means body roll is going to be an issue. Crossovers, yes, they do still have a little bit of body roll, but not as much as an SUV because it is more sedan-based or car-like based. So turning corners is much better in a crossover than it is in an SUV. Now, examples of crossovers are the Honda CR-V, the GT Coolray, the Ford Explorer, and the Mazda CX-9. Now, the price points between the two of them are probably one of the biggest factors out there, which you yourself can check out by heading over to our car comparison guide on AutoDeal.com.ph so that you can see what these price points are that I'm talking about. And if that's not enough to take you to a happy place, as I like to say, you're gonna love our Buy Online feature. Remember this, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission. I did have this debate with my wife some time ago, whether it be SUV or crossover. And if you'd like to see what went down, she won, by the way. Click right here and you'll be able to see the video on how we decided on our very first car. Now, with all that being said, the comparison between SUV and crossover really depends on what it is that you're looking for. You can compare apples to apples, but really you're only gonna get so far. Sure, you've got your Granny Smith, your delicious red, and whatnot, but comparing apples to oranges will yield you a lot more choices. Choices that we are gratefully spoiled with. Back in my day, as Earl would like to say, if you wanted a tall riding car, it was an SUV or bust. But today, you have so many options. And to help you get through these options, head on over to AutoDeal.com.ph if you're looking to buy a new SUV or crossover immediately, or you're just pinpointing what your dream car or next purchase is going to be. Thanks for watching, everyone. Do subscribe to our videos because we love creating them for you. Be well, see you soon.